Hello everybody. I am very keen to share with you my experience over the past couple of days of using the Exoactive in full force. When I first quoted this project, I knew it would be perfect for the Exoactive. There was a lot of plastering repairs to be done, a lot of cutting out of ceilings to be done, a lot of various bits and bobs that would be overhead. I have 18 years experience as a decorator, and only in the past 2 months since I've been using the Exoactive have I suddenly realized just how much overhead work I go through. And it is actually not as easy as people would like to think. Your biceps in particular tend to really struggle during the day. They get really tired. One thing I'm doing a lot of is I am working without the machine. I am trying to do tasks without the machine. And I constantly find myself wanting to put the machine back on because of the assistance that it is giving my arms, my biceps in particular. If you follow me on IG, you probably would have heard me say that in terms of preparation, cutting out, plastering, scraping off, the machine for me is a winner. It is truly assisting me in a way that allows me to work longer and harder and just more intensively in certain areas without having to bring my arms back down to my body to allow them to rest. In this video, I want to focus on the painting side of things. Now, the painting side of things is interesting because in terms of painting walls, I find the device is useless. It is not equipped for painting walls. There's just no benefit I can find unless you're going to drop down to your knees and paint on your knees whilst rolling a wall. That's the only time you're going to find a benefit. But what you see here is me coming to the end stretch of a very large ceiling, and I'm now experimenting using only one arm. I would put the machine on pause, use my arm and roll, and very quickly my arm would become very tired. I would then take the machine off pause and I would just go and go. Right there, the machine's on and I can just keep going and going and going and going. That's one arm at the end of a very large ceiling. The Exoactive is making it very comfortable rolling with one arm. That's me praying that they're covered in one, and that's me looking at the ceiling for about an hour after I painted it. Now I know you're never going to roll a ceiling with one arm. Why are you going to do that if you have two arms? I'm not an idiot. Now, there's the ceiling done. Truly, I realize that the Exoactive is helping me here, but it's also making me realize that I have to start to change the way that I work. Happy dance. When I say change the way that I work, it's the way that, namely, I grab the rolling pole or the way I position my body when climbing up the ladder. Another thing to note here is I'm using Farrell & Ball's Modern Emulsion or wipeable type paints on these ceilings, which does also make rolling a little bit easier in comparison to using a contract mat. Contract mats do require a lot more force and power. But here's another good example that I realized. If you can look at my hands now, I've clicked that. I have to hold two hands higher up on the pole to get the benefit on the left arm as well. Because if the left arm is low down where you'd normally grab a pole, you're not getting any benefit. But if you raise the left arm, you can get a lot of benefit from that left arm now. As well as that, these overextension points that I'm doing here, without the Exoactive, these are very difficult to do. They will make you sweat. And that is another area that this thing is really blowing my mind a little bit, because it's just giving me that little bit of help that I'd really like to kind of get into these awkward areas. One drawback is I find the machine is quite heavy and it can actually make my back sweat a little bit. But I find this is a trade-off that I'm willing to make. You can see my hand there, the left hand, I'm always trying to pull it up now. And that's what I'm talking about when it's saying changing the way that I work. And I'm going to leave it with that. I'm really enjoying using the machine. I still have not decided whether the novelty is still making me fall in love with it. But I know that in most instances, for this type of work, I'm going to pick that machine up and put it on my back. Please remember, this is my own opinion. This is my own life that I'm living here. And I'm just putting it out there, what I feel at the moment. I'd really appreciate your comments, your feedback. And if you found this video informative, please hit the like button. I'd really appreciate that too. These videos do take quite a lot of effort to make. Cheers.